Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's CV Tsukiyomi, and today I'm going to do a video on the state of the game. Basically, I'm going to talk about the decks that I think are top tier and the ones that are consistently going to win in qualifier events. So, I'll just jump into it right now. I nicknamed these decks the Big Three, meaning they are the three decks that are going to see the most play, and they're going to be consistently the ones that are winning most of the time. I'm not saying by any means that there's other decks out there that can't win. I'm just saying these three decks are, these three decks are the best decks you can play. They just, you can't, these decks produce the most advantage you can get. They produce, like, the most consistency you can get, okay? And then they just produce, like, all this, overall, like, they're more consistent, they're more aggressive, and they give you more options of winning. So we'll just get into it. So the first one is the Gold Paladins. The Gold Paladins are really good. Reason being is because when you look at Gold Paladins, they hit really big. They drop a lot of cards on your opponent's hand. Not only that, but you get pluses with it by just using their skills. Like if you use Garmor or Ezel's skill, you get +1s. So this deck generates a lot of +1s, and it basically you can get a full field really quick, and you can start hitting really big like all the time. So that's something to watch out for. Gold Paladins are definitely a top competitor in my mind. There's nothing that consistently hits as big as this deck all the time. Okay, so definitely watch out for them. The second deck is Kageros. I think Kageros are basically an amazing control. I guess you can call it control-oriented deck. It's either you can call it control or you can call it for sure aggression. Okay, for sure aggression means you're retiring units. That's what I'm going to start calling it, like for sure aggression, because you're retiring units, you're pushing for advantage. It's very consistent in pushing for giving your opponent a lot of minuses, because with Lawkeeper, Berserk Dragon, Kimnara, you're doing a lot of minusing on your opponent, which can give you good advantage. And Lawkeeper is an amazing card. Like this is like the best Kagero Vanguard you can use right now. There's just nothing else. You could the other arguable Kagero is Goku, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just saying Kageros in general. With Lawkeeper now available, this deck is just very competitive, and expect it to do really well. The third deck is Spike Brothers. There's no deck out there like Spike Brothers that can just constantly like change up your field and just basically swing big like early, okay? A lot of people will tell you this deck, because of this card and a few other cards, this deck can basically win you the game on turn 4, 5, or 6, which is really quick. That's like really quick. If they get everything they need, this deck is gonna win on turn 4, 5, or 6. Like you really don't have answers, because you'll just lose so much advantage at that point where it's just too hard to keep up. Okay, so the deck's really fast. So basically, let's take a look. You have a deck that'll give you a lot of pluses, a deck that'll give you a lot of minuses, and a deck that'll just rush the hell out of your opponent. Okay, this thing goes so quick. And plus, you have a cheerleader. You have 2 cheerleaders in the deck that just give the deck so much support. Like they're the heart and soul of the deck. Without playing these cheerleaders in the Spike Brothers deck, you wouldn't really win, because you wouldn't have a girl supporting you in your endeavor to win the game. But anyways, yeah, this is what I think are the big 3. The reason why I didn't include some other decks, maybe Grand Blue. I consider Grand Blue a dark horse deck, meaning that I don't consider it to be one of the big 3, but it's a deck that can definitely win. Next one, Narukami. I don't really feel like Narukamis can compete. They just don't seem to me like they can gain enough advantage, especially since like you're kind of like it's just like it doesn't get as much advantage as it would have the deck thinks it can. So it definitely swings big, but in my opinion, Kageros do a better job of doing the whole minus thing. So these are my picks for this the top 3. I'm gonna nickname these guys the big 3 for right now because I've been playtesting all 3, and I cannot really tell. I can't really see any other deck like consistently beating these guys all the time. Like they don't. These decks have answers, and they're the most efficient. So basically, they get the most work. Um, they get the most results for the least amount of work is what I'm trying to say. So these are definitely like the decks to play. Nothing. I mean, this is just it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, thumbs up, guys. If you if you want to get the pluses, play Gold Paladins. You want to do minusing on your opponent, play the Kagero, and if you want to rush the hell out of your opponent, you get the Spike Bros. So they're 3 different type of decks. So they're not the same play style. So you have to pick. If you are wanting to play the game competitively, I recommend these 3, but it's up to you based on your play style on what you want to play. If you want to just move really, really quick, you play the Spike Brothers. If you want to play really control-oriented, constantly minusing your opponent, then you play the Kagero. If you want to get a lot of pluses on your side of the field, just constant, like, superior calling, whatever, then you play the Gold Paladins. So there you go, guys. Tell me what you guys think. What's your favorite deck out there right now, and what would you play for a regional qualifier event? Let me know in the comments down below. Peace out, guys.